Stop. Over there. Hammer again. Holy shit, hammer.
Call it Allah, Basham, Shai Basham, Kakudash, double honors to the apostles and elders of great men, stone that rule and teach well. Peace and salutations to the brothers on the four corners of this earth, pushing this with truth and in sincerity. I'm Brother Manata Saxon Shalom. No, so here with another short video. This will be an impromptu video because prophecy is continuing to come to pass, and nevertheless, we here for it, right? The first video that was played was from Chicago, and this video just played is from Atlanta. Here, this little article here, it's a breaking. Anti-ICE protesters are now smashing police vehicles as riots take place in Atlanta. Widespread riots are erupting across the U.S., plunging major cities into chaos, including New York, LA, Dallas, San Francisco, Chicago, Philadelphia, and now Atlanta. The situation in Atlanta has escalated rapidly, with rioters jumping on cop cars, shattering windows, and throwing explosive devices at officers. Law enforcement is struggling to contain the growing unrest. And so, yeah, this is not just a contain something, this is a nationwide thing, right? Now, I'm going to bring back the precept I do in my most recent video, right? It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power." Yeah, so people will do what they want. They don't regard the kings or the princes. You understand? One of the articles I was shown between the videos say, well, you may have LA one considering a curfew as of nightfall, right? More than likely they're under curfew right now, but shit, they ain't gonna stop nothing. You understand? After 5 days of unrest, you want to say curfew, they're not really gonna stop anything. You understand? The scripture is prophetic. God, sedition is when people incite riot, basically like rioting against the powers that be, so rioting against the government, and that is what they're doing. You understand? Well, we don't have an ICE but in Trinidad Tobago, what we have is known as customs. I would call them customs officers. It's more or less the same thing. Immigration is more or less the same thing. They do basically the job of what ICE does in America. You understand? And they, just like ICE officers, they're more brutal than the police. You understand? There's a low tolerance for any bullshit when it comes to the customs officers. You understand? I think it's customs and exercise. It's almost some shit like that. Right? The next precept I want to get at is the book of Matthew 6 and 26. Yeah. Matthew 24:6. protesters, and he shall hear voice and rumors of wars. See that he be not trouble, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. You understand? This is the beginning, right? See, if a nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Eh? And this is how we, the men of the Lord, you understand, the hopefully, like, no for a fact that we in the last, we in the latter times, because look at what going on. America is basically in a state of civil war. You understand? Heavy civil unrest. You understand? It wouldn't take, well, it mightn't be, I'm going to take that word, it mightn't be exactly a civil war right now, but, you understand? We know they are the so-called rednecks, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? These clan members and so on and so forth, who more or less are the same, who more or less are the same mindset as Trump, to send back the immigrants, or whatever the case may be, get them out of the country, and we know that this will lead to the right. The people will rise up once they realize the law enforcement can't do it, so let me see every country, wherever, there's a country up, right? They are, right? And they just what it is the beginning of sorrows, wars, rumors of wars. Even the tensions are rising between Venezuela and this country, Trinidad and Tobago. You understand? I'll do a video on that sometime when it pop back up, but over the weekend. So that was one of the things that Trinidad and Tobago, that was on the news. You know what I mean? Venezuela intercept some terrorists or something like that with Trinidadians on it, and military weapons and something along the lines. Hang on, gained it. Some reason with this side. Well, I've had it less. You understand? Right now, they're in civil unrest, and it could end up into a society and end up into a civil war. Get the ball rolling. You understand? Pretty soon they're going to. You understand? More or less, they done put the state of LA under martial law. More or less, because they call in the National Guard and their Marines on standby, so on and so forth. You understand? And we could see that it's spreading like a disease. It's spreading like a fucking wildfire. In other words, and all this is the handiwork of the Lord. All this is the handiwork of the Lord. See if I could get up this up. I think there's trouble in this city. Hopefully with trouble on the take. Wow. I believe. Okay. Let's see if I find this. One second. Yeah, so the precept passage for Amos 3 and 6, it says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and Yahweh hath not done it yet? So this is all according to what the Most High script to his plan. Alright? It's all according to his plan, his will. You know? I remember that all these things, the beginning of sorrows, there's the most I will. So I say, see if I can remember this one. Call it Isaiah 45 and 7. It say, I form the light and create darkness, I make peace and create evil. I will do all these things. Yeah, the most high do it. You understand? This is the doing of the most high, bringing the prophecies are written. And if they do come to pass, that would make the most high lie. We know the most high is not a man that he should lie. We know that. That's scriptural. You understand? So all these things that come to pass, the beginning of sorrows, all these things, the simple unrest and so on and so forth, all these acts, you understand? So-called acts. All these things are what the work of the Lord, the Most High Lord. You understand? I had a precept in mind just so I can, how did it go? I just had it in mind so I can, but nevertheless, as I was saying, this is the will of the Lord, right? To be a moment, I'm looking for the precept. I think it's, yeah, there's a precept that wasn't mad. Matthew 10 and 29, it says, "Are not two sparrows sold for a farthing, and one of them shall not fall on the ground without your father." You understand? Luke 12 and 6, it says, "Are not five sparrows sold for two farthings, and not one of them is forgotten before power." You understand? So, yeah, the Lord has to give the word for everything. You understand? He has account or gives the okay for everything that is done on the face of the earth. Uh-huh. I'm gonna get one more precept and I will close off. There's one more. There's one more. It says, hmm, I know the precept I'm looking for. No, it's in the book of Amos. You must. Must fly. On that person. So, this man. Wow, it's Daniel. Wow. Slovakia Daniel 117 has said this matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will and set it up over the basest of men. And I just said the Most High rule in the kingdom of men. He rule here, right? So whatever happen here is he allow it to happen. We have to keep that in mind. You understand? This is all prophecy coming to pass. So we the brothers just watching and relaying the messages, you know, watching and comparing the precepts with prophecy as they unfold, time and time again. Right, so that was edifying. As I said, it was an impromptu video, so Salakia for the little, for the little scripture switch and so on and so forth. Forgive me. Nevertheless, I hope it was edifying to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Kakadash. Until next time, Shalom.